Puff, P. Diddy. Some of y'all know him by these names. Some of y'all know him by Did He Do It? The Diddler. Some of y'all know him as the baby oil bandit. People have their opinions on Puff. Some people are outraged about the decision that has been handed down. Some people think that it's justified. Listen, you let me know what side you are on. I think we all can agree on this, that he definitely is an asshole. So, but let's take a look, man. Let's see what they got to say about your boy. Did he do it? Puff.
All right, so Sean Diddy Combs will now be in jail until October as he waits for sentencing. Yesterday, the jury found him guilty on 2 of the 5 charges he was facing, and the judge denied him bail. So Combs was acquitted on the most serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, but the jury has convicted him of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. When the trial got out yesterday, Combs' lawyers celebrated the jury's decision.
Today is a great day. Today is a win. Today is a victory of all victories for Sean Combs and our legal team. We had a wonderful jury. They listened to every word, and they got the situation right, or certainly right enough.
Well, looking ahead, prosecutors say they will be pushing for a 4 to 5 year sentence. Combs' convictions could put him in jail for a maximum of 10 years each, so the judge has scheduled the sentencing hearing for.
So you have people that are close to the situation, or they are attorneys that were given the play-by-play. They're watching this case pretty close. And some of the people that I know that are in law enforcement and that are attorneys said that they haven't made a strong enough case against him, man. He's going to walk. And they've been saying this whole time. I was like, they haven't seen anything that's going to put Puffy behind bars for a long period of time, or he just might walk altogether. So they're saying, hey, man, you have to take your emotion out of it. The Cassie video, we've all seen the Cassie video. So a lot of us are upset about that video, right? Very emotional about that video. We say, throw the book at him. They say, well, she got paid $20 or $30 million for that butt whooping. And she did not try to put this man in prison. She was trying to get money out of him, and she got a lot of money out of him. So that right there was pretty much in their estimation one of the reasons why, like, hey, people are so emotional about this, but y'all have to be honest with this whole situation. Cassie got paid a lot of money. She did, and she didn't try to get criminal charges against him. She didn't come forward then, when it happened. So no one's saying it's right. Don't get it twisted. No one's saying it's right. But what they're saying is people are emotional about this video, but you have to factor in all of the evidence, So, but let's go ahead and this next video here, gentleman breaks down the charges, and he breaks down the reasons why Puff didn't get hit with the two main charges that could have landed him in prison for a long time, maybe life. And then there's some people that are thinking that he's going to get time served. He's probably going to get time served, and he's going to be able to get out. Listen, man, when you got money and power, that's what happens, man. We're not privy to this type of treatment, but when you have money and connections, Anyway, let's take a look at this breakdown. They got the baby oil crew.
That was a scene outside of New York Federal Courthouse after a verdict was announced in the case against Sean Combs.
People celebrating.
Jurors deliberated for 13 hours over 3 days and reached a unanimous verdict on 5 charges against the hip-hop mogul. Combs was found guilty on 2 charges of transportation to engage in prostitution, but not guilty on sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. Combs now facing a maximum possible sentence of up to 10 years in prison. The judge has not yet officially given a sentencing date. Here to break it all down for us is defense attorney Daryl Cohen. And Daryl, this was our little Super Bowl between me and you right here. And Combs was cleared on most of those serious charges, but convicted on Mann Act violations. From your perspective, what does it say about the jury? And first of all, explain Mann Act violations. What is that?
It is taking someone across state lines for indecent or immoral purposes. In other words, sex situations. That's really all it is. Very simple, and it's sort of a catch-all that's been used forever in order to get someone. Think of Al Capone. They knew he was a terrible person. What did they get him on? Tax evasion. No big deal, right? Well, it's just enough to get him under their thumb. And that's what the Mann Act is. And Chesney, it's very interesting to me. I thought that the federal government overreached when they charged Mr. Combs with something called, what am I calling it? Oh, RICO. RICO. It's really a reach to get RICO. And so I saw his defense team, and I thought they did a nice job. But also, they were just unbelievably happy. Why were they so happy? Because he didn't get convicted of the RICO charges. But he still is convicted on not one, but two of the Mann Act charges. Each one of them carries a possible penalty of 10 years. Will he get 10 years? I don't know. As you know, and as the public knows, and all of our viewers know, there was a bond hearing yesterday where his team wanted him to be released on a $1 million bond and several other situations to keep him tight, give up his passport, etc. The judge said no. So why did the judge do that? We don't know. We don't know if the judge is planning in October, when the sentencing is now scheduled for, though there's a hearing next week trying to move it up. We don't know if the judge is going to say, okay, you've been incarcerated for this period of time. Here is the sentence. Walk out the door. We don't know if the judge is going to say, you know what, you could have had 20 years. I'm going to give you 7 or 8. And in the federal system, we all need to remember you serve 85% of that time. There is no parole. So I don't know what's going on. It would have been nice if the cameras had been in the courtroom. We would have known what the jurors' feelings were if we'd have watched their body language, their facial expressions. I'm told some of their facial expressions included rolling their eyes. Well, this is not a good look for the prosecution. But it's not a complete win for the defense. It's the prosecution didn't win what they wanted. They won less, and the defense, they didn't win everything. They lost less. They're still facing incarceration.
What you and when we first started talking about this, you thought he was in thick pudding. I remember you saying that. What surprised you most about this case?
Well, it was the length of it. I always believed, as a former prosecutor, in the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it short, stupid. The government just went on and on and on. I would have focused in on one or two things. I would have amended the indictment, got rid of RICO, and made it simple for the jury. And that is what they did not do. It went forever. And so the defense did their job. They said, hey, this is Hollywood. This is the record business. We do what we do here. You do what you do as a public. We're different. We didn't bother anybody. We didn't force anybody. And that's not what the evidence showed.
Yeah. Well, so we won't hear any more until October, or will we hear something? Or is there something in between now and then?
There is a hearing scheduled for next week where the defense wants to move up the sentencing. Normally, there's a PSR, pre-sentence review, looking at the defendant's background done by a federal probation officer. And he or she will look at all of the facts and all of the circumstances and make a recommendation to the United States District Court judge. The judge can take that recommendation, follow it completely, follow it not at all. But the judge also will take into account anything that made it worse or made it better. And there are something called the sentencing guidelines, which in the beginning, when they came out, they were a suggestion. Then they became mandatory. Now they're back to a suggestion. So the judge can do whatever he wants, anywhere from 0 to 10 years per count. So it could be 20 years, 10 years consecutive, one on top of the other, or it could be 10 years, it could be 5, it could be 2. I don't know what the judge is thinking, and it would be helpful if we had seen the judge while the trial was in play, watching the body language, watching the facial expressions.
Gotcha.
There you have it. So this gentleman broke it down. You know, a lot of people, they feel one way or another. The people that I've talked to and the interviews that I've watched, man, they just didn't have enough. They said they didn't have enough. They said, yeah, of course. Is he a bad human being? You know, that's I think by and large we agree that there's something wrong with Puff. But they're basically saying that the man is guilty of being a freak. And that's it. And you know, the situation with Cassie, she was paid a lot of money for that. She didn't go after him criminally. She went after him civilly, and she got paid 20 or 30 million dollars for that. So, other things they said couldn't be proved. And then you had, you know, escorts that were in there saying that they actually were paid. So he paid for prostitutions. You know, what are you gonna do? A lot of people think that he deserves to be locked up for what he did to Cassie. I tend to agree because that was horrible. But if we're just going to keep it 100, that's not the route she went. She went for the money, and there's going to be people out there that's going to argue and say, well, she did good. You know, she got 20, 30 million dollars out of it. So there's plenty of us that would probably take that route if we're being honest. Go the money route, and that's what she did. So. Hey, man, money and power, man, it has influence. And I think this is a clear-cut case of that. Puff got money, he's got power, and he's probably going to do little to no jail time because they're talking about time served. So I'm talking about from here on out, you know, in the sentencing, they're probably going to do little to no jail time. So it's probably going to be time served. People are telling me, or he's going to do 5 years less. That's of course that's just their opinion. So we'll see, man. Your boy, did he do it?